What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're just going to be going over the market. So without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So guys, we have Analog Man Dimensional Phase BT11, $5.73. So this card is holding some great value because, again, Mugen is still a very powerful deck going into it. The fact that Analog Man exists for the deck proves my point exactly. This deck has a lot going for it in the right direction. Analog Man is one of those powerhouse cards that just makes sure that you survive and get to your pieces as soon as possible. There are two versions. You have Big Daddy Slam Down, or you have the DM version. And they're both very powerful versions, and again, great pilots can actually do really well with it. So, and as proven for the regional, we saw an extensive amount of increase on that for, you know, Canada. So yeah, looking at 4 to 5 to 6 euros. Now Ray alts are down to $9.65 from that overly hyped price of 13s, which is good to see it come down, guys, which still holding out. It should probably reach about 7s again. The Dark Knightmon deck, unless the next set really pushes that deck to be super competitive, which again, I don't think it will. I mean, it'll still be like probably a solid tier 2 deck, but I don't think it's going to push it into tier 1 category. Just the meta didn't change enough for Dark Knightmon to actually affect. And the problem comes down to, it's still one of the few Crossheart decks. I think it's still the only Crossheart deck that has no way of gaining Rush. Yeah, I don't think Bakra even gains Rush. See, there's a problem when your two major decks don't have a way of rushing down your opponent. Well, you know, you have both Crossheart and you have the other deck, aka Blue Flare, being able to swing with Rush. So again, that deck is held back by the fact that it can't attack the turn it plays their things, and that's just one of those things. Unless they start making more interactable cards that can just do something from hand, that Crosshearts would be kind of interesting to see. But until then, I don't think we're going to see enough Dark Knightmon support. You know, again, taking a look though, 10 bucks, 9s, not terrible. You got 7 to 9 euros. Now you have Metal Mamemon alts are sitting at $7.94. We're still holding a little decently strong for that, but not too terrible. Now taking a look though, 3 to 5 euros. Metal Greymon X Antibody Dimensional Phase BT11 holding strong at 7s as well. Not bad. Again, this is going to probably see some competitive play because, again, the new Black War Greymon stuff is going to be quite powerful. Taking a look, 8 to 10 euros. Sonorizamon alts are sitting at $17. Hopefully you picked them up. Again, they are still climbing, but at the same time, it's one of those things that if the deck does well in the follow-up regional events, it's over. Europe side, 5 to 8 euros. Metal Greymon alts are at $9.40 to 11s. Europe side, 7 to 8 euros. Hexa Blau alts, EX-10s are 28s to 31s to 32s. Europe side, 27 to 30 euros. Flame Dramon update pack finally cooled off to 25s. If you guys have been waiting for this to come down, this is probably a decent time to snag them unless you want to wait longer. There is a couple, actually, no, I wouldn't even say that's a good time. If we're getting the promo pack next month, the one we're getting the, you know, Bandai Premium order of, you know, the 4 those packs, especially you'll get a playset of Flame Dramons. I wouldn't waste your money, $25 at this point, actually. Still hold off, there's no point, we're too close to the reprint. 19 to 20 euros. Chimeramon holding strong. We saw a little bit of a bump, we're up to 7s to 8s. Now taking a look, 5 to 7 euros as well. Again, the deck is quite powerful. Under the right pilot, can really do some damage. So again, I want to see where people go with the EX stuff. Zaviga Ace are $7 to $8. this is something you make sure you have a copy or two just in case with the new Zephyga support that eventually we get in February. We want to make sure we're not paying up the wazoo, right? 6 to 7 euros. Just make sure you pick a copy maybe once in a while, just to make sure you have a good amount, just so that when time comes, you're not falling behind. Balphamon Rage Mode starting to climb, guys. We're up to almost $6 a pop. That's not surprising. Again, Balphamon is looking very, very scary the next coming set, so just be ready for that. Europe side looking like 3 to 4 euros. Now, Balphamon sleep modes for the evolution tops are up to $9, going up to 16s for the top 4 finish. So be ready for that. Europe side looking like 2 to 3 euros. You guys have it good for now, but be ready for this to climb up a little bit. I expect that. Balphamon sleep mode just for participating is about $2 to $3 climbing. Again, there is support. Rage mode definitely got a new wave, and then the fact that we have the X antibody the following set probably will make this deck super competitive. Just be ready for that. 3 cents, 2 cents. Balphamon sleep mode event packs are up to 9s, heading to 20 to 25. There's still plenty of listings here, but they are quite moving. They're moving decently. We'll have to see which one will be that max rarity piece that everybody wants. I know the top 4 seems more flexier, but again, I like the top 4 alt, but I also like this alt too. So again, if you guys have this, be ready for either one of those to keep climbing. So 2 to 5 euros. Violet and Boots holding strong at 14. We are getting Violet and Boots support. I think this set, if I remember in BT23, it might be Violet and Boots getting its level 7, so be ready for that. So again, the card's gonna go for ghosties are gonna go crazy. 25, 28 euros. Sinrilmons, EX-7s are at 14s, so not terrible, but card is coming down from that $30 hype. Europe side looking like 9 to 10 euros. Growlmon X antibodies holding strong for its LM limited foil version is up to $40, still holding strong. Again, deck didn't disappear off the face of the earth like everyone was hoping. As long as this card is at full playset, the deck is both versions of Gallantmon, and then the Megidras, the Growl bottom ends are always going to be competitively viable just because of how powerful this card adds into the flavor. Just because, again, drawing discard, then if you swing in, it dies, then you can slam down the Gila to discard and draw some cards as well once it dies. Again, a lot of traction this deck gets for having just that early game aggression that it can be. Looking like 18 to 20 euros as well. Justmon GX BT10s showing some little bit of movement. Again, the Genkumon deck is putting in some work, so players are going to pick these up from time to time. So yeah, looking like 12 to 20 euros. Skull Knightmon promo 15, we're at 24 to 25s. Reprint does come out, so I wouldn't really pick this up and just wait for the reprint, see where that lands. This should cause this to go down a little bit. I don't expect this thing to go back to like 10s, 12s. Please don't. Just don't get your hopes up. 9s to 12 euros as Europe tries to prove me wrong. But, there's only a few of that. They'll probably be more lenient to that range, where we're going to be in that 20 range for a bit. Analog Youth alts are at $26 to 30s. Good to see it falling down finally. Remember this thing being $60? Yeah, players are now going to be able to get this for 26 just to flex the old art. But yes, there's plenty of alts in the format now that this now becomes obsolete, right? I mean, it's still the original art, and it's still one of the harder arts to get. Excuse me. Wrong youth. No! I got the wrong youth. We need this one. There we go. 45 to 50 euros. Come on, Europe. You got to come down a little bit better than that. We're already down to 24. We're very rarely do we ever reach that price. We're under them. Sayo alts are holding strong at this. Wow, no data flex, but $18 a piece. Again, deck is still competitively viable, and with the new Sayo, it's just that decently fun to see. Europe side 14 to 18 euros. Digimon alts holding strong at 27. This thing was at 35s, but good to see it finally coming down, Diana, which again I'm happy for. 16 to 18 euros. Destromon promo 094 holding strong at the $10 marks. Again, this thing is basically sell now at this low because that reprint's coming, and that should make this stupidly affordable. So just be ready for that. Europe side 8 to 10 euros. Gaiamon World Convergence BT21. Again, I expect kind of the Appley stuff going to be a lot cheaper just because the playstyle isn't always for everyone, and it doesn't always mean that it's super competitive. But again, a lot of players, there's just a lot of pushback from Appley in the community that I see a lot, and I don't like it. But again, it is just something that happens, right? We're at $12 a piece. Europe side looking like 9 to 10 euros. Gatomon $18 in climbing to 20s. 17 to 20 euros. Gallantmon X Antibody Chain of Liberations $31. 36s going to 40s just for the base. Again, deck didn't get hit, but it's still one of the strongest decks in the format. Europe side 30 to 35 euros. Pyramides are 15s to 16s. And climbing, guys, don't let this slip through your fingers. It's going to be a bit before you can actually play this deck. Remember, March is when you get these reprints. So if you have plans on playing Pyramid from the start, it's probably time is now to grab even just the base rarity stuff. 8 to 9 euros. And for Elusimon Chaos modes are up to $40. I definitely warned you guys when it was 20s, but again, this is now up to a $40 card. Good luck. Europe side looking like 30 to 40 euros. Quartzmon Ace EX-10s are up to $14. I wouldn't buy that into them. Nobody's really is. I expect this to be like $2 by release. Europe side 11s to 12 euros. Lucimon Satan mode, Sinister Order EX-10s are up to 20 bucks. I expect this to come down. I don't know where Lucimon's going to land, but seeing as this is probably the best Satan mode you're going to be playing with, just make sure that you guys don't fall for the trap. You know, $12, 12 euros is not terrible. I can get behind 10s and 8s. Darkness Bagras are at $8. Some people have picked it up. Again, I think we're going to definitely see some sort of craziness when it comes down to EX-10, but I don't know where it's going to go, right? 11s to 12s. Now, Regulusmon, Sinister Order EX-10s are at 9s. I wouldn't pick these up yet. I expect these to come down. If they're sitting at 9 and moving at 9s, I expect them to come down. I expect these to be like 5 to 3s. 11s to 12s, wouldn't pick those up at that price either. Wardumon is at $9. Wouldn't pick those up at that. Again, if you even just look at Globemon, Globemon, it's $1. I don't think, even if this deck is tier 2, I don't think we're going to see high competitive on it. I just don't see a lot of people going, yeah, Appley. I feel like these cards are going to fall low, and it'll be good for the Appley players that really are excited for it, but just be ready for not paying these exorbitant prices. 11 to 12s, I wouldn't just go rushing on them. Apocalypse holding strong at 9. Some people did pick up copies at $9 a piece, which is not a bad idea. It's going to be that coin flip. I would wait to release, pick them up at the lowest they are on release day, and then go from there. 11 to 14 euros. Belphamon Rage modes, holding strong at 9s. I would definitely pick these up probably around 6s to 7s, my personal take. But if you can get them lower, go for it. Just in case this deck is just ridiculous. 11 to 12 euros. Magnetic Dramon Sinister Order EX-10s are at 20 bucks. This probably will have the effect of similar to, you know, our Omnimon, but don't expect this to be expensive long. I think it really depends on how good the Pyramid deck is and how competitive it is. If it becomes a tier 1 deck, sure, expect that these prices to be ridiculous. 11s to 12s. Beelzemon Ace Sinister Orders are up to 60 bucks. I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. I really can't. I mean, it's a great secret. Don't get me wrong, but I would not invest for 60s. I would wait for this to get released and pick it up probably in the $20 range, if that, you know, 50 euros. But, you know, Black War Greymon Aces are at $24. Would not pick this up. I mean, yes, Black War Greymon might actually have the Alter S effect. Might. We'll have to see. Just watch this closely like a hawk. Europe side, 11 to 12 euros. But all in all, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the market watch. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.